How optimism can play a role to your productivity. Do you really think there's a relationship between optimism and productivity? The more optimistic you feel about your business, about your relationships, and whatever you're trying to achieve, the more focused and productive you're going to be. What is optimism? Optimism is not inherited. It's not based on a genetic makeup. It is a skill that can be learned and applied in life. The happier, the more optimistic you are, the higher the quality of work you're going to produce. Have you tried to work at your higher self? Do you remember how much more work you've done in contrast when you felt moody and awkward? We are not often conscious or aware of the way we feel and what kind of impact this will have on our particular activities to get a job done. But you have to start noticing those things. Your current state of mind has a lot to do with the performance you have on whatever activity you get involved in. That's because in the way you feel is associated with the quality of your emotions, which makes your work more fulfilling and enjoyable. If there is an ugly task you don't like, but you have to do it in order to move forward, we tend to procrastinate because we don't like doing those things because it's ugly. And when you feel more optimistic, you're going to do those ugly tasks more smoothly without having a lot of friction and inner drives to postpone those activities. Procrastination is one of the biggest enemies to productivity, but you can kill it with intentionally driven optimism. In short, I'm going to give you different tips that I personally use to get more optimistic, and they're not the foundation of becoming more productive, but they may definitely guide you to give you more practical steps to take into consideration in order to get more things done or be more productive. Okay, so let's go to it. The first thing you can do is to stop watching the news on the TV. And that's going to be a little hard for some folks. Have you noticed that the most of the news on TV is negative, exclusive, and bothering? They're simply designed to get your attention. People are more likely to pay attention to something that is going to hurt them than is actually going to help them, and that is psychology. Reporters, journalists, and producers who make the news on TV know that you're going to be more alert or glued on the TV screen like a zebra when a lion approaches you for a breakfast. I mean, let's face it, we don't watch the news so that we can keep up with the world. We simply pay attention to the things that may hurt us so that we can avoid them, and as a result of seeing those horror stories on the news, so we can be more cautious. Well, have you asked yourself what this can do to your psyche? The more negative patterns, events, and thoughts we put in our head, the less optimistic we're going to be. We tend to establish boundaries to the rest of the world because we're afraid of experiencing what happened on TV. This doesn't only causes us to close ourselves into our own world, but also we tend to get more negative. Optimistic people don't watch the news. I personally know people who don't even watch TV at home. This might be a little extreme for some folks, but in reality, if you try to live without the news for 2 or 3 months, you're going to find your life more fulfilling, and I guarantee you. You're simply going to be more productive at your work as a result. The second thing you can do is not to think in problems, but think in terms of solutions. Most people get caught up in the problems and get obsessed by them all the time, thinking about the problem all the time. So they circle around with the idea of chasing the problem, and when you do this, you're going to be less optimistic because problems have a negative connotation. Chasing problems is counterproductive. That is because there's usually a difference between chasing a problem and fixing it. These are two different things. When you think in the fixing part, you're thinking in solutions. The third thing you can do is to view life as a journey, not a destination. Often it's not about the end result we're getting. It is about what happens before we get that end result. Let me ask you a question. How many times you find yourself watching the same movie over and over again? You know how that particular movie is going to end. So why we're watching it over and over again? Because of the way it makes us feel and we experience the characters in the story with that particular movie, and we're just on a journey. We don't care about a destination because we already know how that particular movie ends. A journey entails an adventure, something exciting, something unknown to us. That's one of the reasons why we want change. On the journey, we are filled with optimism and willingness to bring change and positive expectancy. If you view your having an online business as a journey, you're going to be more optimistic about it. That's the best attitude to carry on in hard times and failures while enduring the pain throughout this process. Failures and setbacks are simply part of life, and you simply want to meet them with positive expectations. The fourth thing you can do is to be present. Most people tend to live either in the future or in the past. The past often brings us the emotion of guilt and grief. The emotions of the future are often fear, jealousy, and anxiety. Optimism, on the other hand, lives only in the now. It's in the moment. We cannot experience optimism in the past or in the future. It is an emotion that requires us to be present all the time. The fifth thing you can do is to be more optimistic, is to hang out with positive people, and that is a very obvious one. The people you surround yourself determine the overall quality of your life. Since optimism is a learned skill, the best way you can learn is through other people. You have to notice how positive people deal with day-to-day interactions, how they deal with other people, and how they deal with problems and challenges, etc. You become who you surround yourself with. Often we might keep a distance from optimistic people because we're not used to being the same frame of mind, so it can be look uncomfortable for us to be around those particular people. But once you decide to study them closely, to observe their behaviors and all the thoughts they are having in their minds, you are simply going to understand their particular reality, so you can adopt it for yourself. The sixth thing you can do is affirmations. Well, sometimes affirmations don't work, okay? Because when you say to yourself something that is a lie, the mind automatically rejects it as a result of previous conditioning or experience. But when you intend to do affirmations, it's different. Let me explain. If you're not happy, frustrated all the time, and when you say to yourself, I'm a happy person, I'm a happy person, the inner dialogue is gonna say, no, you're not. But when you say to yourself, I intend to be happy or to get a better lifestyle, then there are no internal conflicts associated with that thought. The more you feed yourself with things that you want to acquire or achieve in life, eventually every lie is going to become a solid belief of possibility. When you do this, your level of optimism is going to skyrocket and is going to increase dramatically. The seventh thing you can do is to chase your dreams. Most people get jobs they don't like and get involved in relationships they're not happy with and stick to those relationships. And also, those people do things that are not fulfilling to them. Going after your dreams requires courage. When you follow your dreams, you're going to be more optimistic because you're going to be inspired enough to keep things going until you get there. Dreams touch your core values. When you do what you want to achieve in life, you're going to have more sense of purpose that is going to make you more attractive to other people, and also you're going to be more productive at your work. Okay, so how to start? What's your passion? Write down what you're really good at it and what fulfills you the most when you do it. If you don't know what's your passion, get involved in various activities. Force yourself to get involved in particular activities that you can see which one fulfills you the most. This requires for you to get out of the comfort zone to explore your possibilities. That is the end of this video. I hope you enjoyed the information and got a lot of value out of it. If you want to get more tips and strategies on time management, visit my blog at doubletimetodaycom. That is doubletimetodaycom. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you there.